Alright everybody, welcome back. We get ourselves 134 TOP season, and it's going to be a fun time because of reasons we'll get later. But last season we ended up at 168, I think it was. So you know what, a bit higher than I thought, but I did say we were going to be within the top 200, I think. So 100% would take it, got the title, got the CCLs, the main thing. But yeah, now the question is it going to be a fun season? I mean, it could be. But to begin with, we're going to go with the pattern, as per usual. And this is the pattern here. It's very easy, and honestly, very easy with, like, I want to say maybe, like, 3 difficult fights per se. Or you mightn't get the full kill with the boost team, with the non-boosted team, but you will get with the boosted team. So, this should be fun to actually try and get into this here. So yeah, that's the pattern, that's what we're doing this here. Now, I would say we're going to get into the fights, but I actually want to go over the colours. Yes, I'm bringing back the colours I used to do back in the day, where I did colour and the cover change and the type of cover change it was. So blast striking, universal, and same with the blockages. But we're actually going to be just doing the colours. And these are the colours that were within the pattern. So as you can see here, it is predominantly yellow, green, and in some way red, with a thing like 10 purple. So the main colours you want to use is purple and red as the 2 main, the ones you want to double up for. Red you can maybe get away with, but there are fights where you have like triple red, so you might want to maybe skew in a blue there, but the least you need would be a green. So you don't need to run a green. Run every other colour, just don't run green. There's no colour, there's no blues, you'll be fine. So you can run reds all rampantly. But yeah, we're going to start off here now, actually into the pattern, which is going to be firstly this fight here, and as you see here, 3 greens and 2 yellows, 1 red. As I said before, this is going to be nothing. So yeah, this is what we're dealing with here. Obviously you have a tank and the rest of them with 1 EX, so fun times there. Next up, 4 fist. This here, you have a transformation unit, and as you see here, multiple greens and multiple yellows. Yellows and greens have been going mental for this season, so again, stockpile your reds and your purples, to which you will see in my teams, except for maybe one of them, but again, it's the boosted team compared to non-boosted. But moving on, next up, 4 fist. This is just a full color wheel, but still multiple yellows. And then the boss fight. Now, I didn't include this here in, but he is reversal, but in fairness, you will get rid of him sooner. You will get rid of him first because you don't want a reversal, unless you're running multiple blues. If that's the case, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I've already said this here. You don't need blues. There's like 1 red, and there's 1 fight where you get multiple reds, or 3 fights. But still, moving on. Not easy, not bad. Next up, 5 fists. Easy enough. Multiple greens, multiple reds. See, this is what I'm talking about, 2 reds, but again, not needed, very low stars. Next up, 3 fists. 3 reds. You can run a couple blues, but again, not really needed. After that, it's the same how we had before. Boss fight, multiple greens and yellows again. After that, it's blue. 2 reds, but they're weak as shit. Then here, 2 yellows. Here, 2 reds. And we'll actually end up with this fight here, because the fact that there is just like more of 1 singular color, i.e. 2 purples and 2 yellows, so you can get away with it. Because this here is a full color wheel, because it only has 2 purples. And 2 fusing units here, whereas here only has the 1. You can go for this here, but I wouldn't recommend it because this one has the better tiles and the better layout and sense. So yeah, there's, again, as you saw there, 2 fights. Now our next up is going to be the recommended allies. Now the question is, who do you want to use? Get off the screen, 20%. Who do we even need to use? And this is where it gets slightly tricky in some sense, but we'll get into it. Because if we look here, season details, recommended allies, boosted, Shalette, Gohan Trunks, Pan, obviously getting a 20% boost, and then hybrids and Super Saiyan God for 10%, and game originals and sagas for 5%. And since, unfortunately, there's 3 Super Saiyan Gods or sagas in movies, there's no point in making a full God Key team, or Super Saiyan God team, because you can't. But you can make a full hybrid and sagas, and there's only one hybrid and original, so not exactly great. However, there is a contention for one extra character, but whether or not he is going to be out, he should be, but I don't know. And I haven't included him in any of the teams, but they'll obviously boost up the score. And that's going to be the Giblet that we get for free. I think that might be coming out next week, but if I'm wrong, then it'll be the next season. But if he does come out next week, I will say leave the runs until he comes out, because he's free to play, and obviously it'll impact the scores and the boost scores. So in other words, you'll be adding on an extra 15% because he's Super Saiyan God and Game Originals. So all the boost and stuff add on 15%. Otherwise, yeah, this is just all like 5% if you have such and such, so it would be 10% extra onto the actual damage. But score-wise, it'll be 15%. So that's what we're going to get into, which is going to be the teams.
Alright, so first team is going to be the boosted team. And this says 150%, and I do have Shallot there. But the thing is though, right, he can transform to Super Saiyan God, so does he, and he technically does get the tag after this, so does the boost acquire to him? I'm not too sure. But he says 5% at some point, so I'm not too sure in this case. But, again, completely possible. But this is going to be the main team. If it doesn't work like that, well then obviously don't run him, put on someone else. But this is the main team. If Giblet comes, obviously put him on. Next up is going to be the Hybrid Saiyans, non-boosted version. Now this is sitting at 90%, this will still say it's 90%. But if we do get Giblet this week, or next week I guess, then obviously slap him on. Easiest decision of your life because free to play units, give you the boost, fine and dandy. And I've got 3 transformation units because those are the main damage dealers, but if you want the straight damage dealer, well then Revive Gohan there, and Beast Gohan is very high attack anyway, so you'll be going very good enough. Next up is going to be the actual Super Saiyan God, and again, if Giblet does come and Shallot's boost does work, well then obviously take off, I would say, the free to play Gohan, because Goten is 315, and slap in Giblet. But again, if he doesn't, well then this team is just mostly completely useless, I'd say to you. But it's still a fun enough team if you want to run something different. And again, if Shallot does count for the Super Saiyan God, because again, he can get the tag after transforming, so there is that in a sense.
And that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. If there is anything I left out, because there probably is, and in fairness, the teams were even scuffed as all hell, because I tried to make something of it, but here, we don't live in a perfect world. But yeah, this should be interesting season, so yeah, I shall see you all next time.